In my last video, I literally smashed an iPhone 13 Pro Max with a hammer just to test the resistance of it. And well, if you haven't seen the video, the iPhone got smashed. Now some of you probably thought, what is this guy thinking? Why would you even smash a $1,500 iPhone, such a beautiful device and piece of technology? Why would you even do that? Well guys, I'm sorry, but I was just playing. I actually never did smash my iPhone 13 Pro Max. What I did instead is I tricked you and I smashed this phone that it's an iPhone 6s that hasn't been working forever. I actually brought this phone to Apple and they told me you can throw this to the garbage because we're not gonna give you any money and there's nothing to do with it. So I actually did smash one phone, but it was a phone that is not usable at all. So yes guys, calm down, I'm not this kind of person. I would not smash an iPhone 13 Pro Max just to get views on YouTube. I don't do that. But if I did that, it's for a few reasons. And the first one is because I just wanted to. I just wanted to like play around, make a fun video, a video that everyone would be like, wait, what? What is this guy doing? And then after that, actually post this video and tell you guys that it was a fake. I actually didn't smash my iPhone. The point of this video is that I want to show you how I actually made it look so realistic. And it's actually pretty simple. Might as well do a video showing how I did it and just showing you step by step how you could potentially fake something like that. So today I'm gonna teach you how I faked the death of my iPhone. So in order to achieve that realistic effect of me smashing the iPhone with a hammer, I actually just had to roll two takes. One with the real iPhone and the other one with the iPhone that I was about to smash. And in order to do that, I just used a regular editing software like Final Cut Pro 10. So yes, before you think, oh, this guy edits in Final Cut Pro 10, he doesn't know what he's doing, just hear me out for a second. First of all, let me tell you that I love Premiere Pro, I love DaVinci Resolve, and I love Final Cut Pro 10 as an editing softwares. I think the three of them, they're like very good editing softwares. And I think you can use any of these three softwares in order to do what I'm going to show you. Now for this example, I'm going to be showing you Final Cut Pro 10, but you would have to use exactly the same method if you're using Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, or any other editing software. Because when it comes to video editing, the software you use doesn't really matter that much, despite many opinions out there. I truly believe that if you're a good editor and you understand how to use the tools in a software, you can be a great editor using Premiere, Final Cut Pro 10, or DaVinci Resolve. So please, let's not start a battle of what software you use or which one is better. Because to be honest, I can use the three of them and I'm good with the three of them. So I'm gonna show you how I made the edit and how I made it look so realistic. So this is the actual project. This is my last video that I posted on YouTube. Look how simple it is. It was only 46 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new project and I'm going to show you from scratch how to create this effect and how I made it look like I was actually smashing an iPhone 13 Pro. So this is just the edit, as you can see. Now if I play this edit, you'll see here, well, let's see, that the iPhone 13 is right here, but then in this other clip, I've changed it already, and you have the iPhone 6, the one that I actually smashed. So the video starts with me talking, and I have the actual iPhone 13 in my hands, and then here I made sure I placed the iPhone very carefully right in the center, as you can see right here, because I made a cut and then I placed at exactly the same spot the iPhone 6. As you can see, they're in the same spot once I move between the two clips. Now the iPhone 6 is way smaller than the iPhone 13 Pro Max, so I'm going to show you what I had to do in order to do that. So the first thing I did was to grab a frame during at some point around here to get the iPhone 13 Pro Max and create a mask around it. So I'm going to create this very moment right here. I'm going to mark it and then I'm going to copy and paste this clip right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this mark right here, and by pressing Shift H, you just hold that frame. Again, let me tell you that you can do this also in Premiere and you can also do this in DaVinci Resolve. So it doesn't really matter what software you're using. What it matters is the basics of what I'm going to teach you. So once we have this frame that is frozen, now as you can see, this doesn't move. You can extend it. We're gonna extend it all the way, make it all the length of this clip, and now we're gonna cut it. And now what I'm gonna do, as you can see, if I disable this clip, under we have the iPhone, and on top we have the clip of the iPhone 13. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna mask this. So in order to do that, I'm gonna go into the effects and type mask and drop a mask. Now I'm gonna need some more space here to be able to see better. So let me make this a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna have to zoom in quite a lot. Wow, that's a lot of zoom in. Maybe too much. Let's put 400%. Yeah, that's good. Now also keep in mind I'm using proxies right now, so it's already very pixelated. So what we can do here is I can click on here and type optimize media. Still pixelated, but we can see better. So I'm gonna draw a mask. And once I have created the mask, I'm gonna go into settings right here, and I'm going to add a little bit of feather. So it's not that noticeable. So as you can see right now, this part was darker. So I should try and actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter so it kind of matches. So if we go into here, show color inspector, now I can try and match at least this area. So bring the highlights up until more or less matches. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. Midtones, yeah, somewhere around here. Now we're in a better position, and I'm gonna decrease the feather a little bit. Actually, this is pretty good. Let me just, yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Now remember that this is very small on our frame, so we don't really have to go that much into detail. That is actually a really good thing. All right, so let's go back to 400. And now what happens is that we have this freeze frame here, and this is not moving. So if I play the clip, it looks like this.
Well, let's see.
Now the next thing I'm gonna do to create the effect that I'm smashing the iPhone 13 Pro is that I want to add, if I disable the top clip, I want to be able to add the screen of the iPhone 6 into the iPhone 13. Now remember that the iPhone 13 is actually bigger, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm going to select this clip and create another mask. I'm gonna put it on top, come right here, right before the smash, and I'm gonna create another mask. So let's go here, draw mask, and we're going to do the same thing. Let's zoom in into 400, and let's draw a mask, but now only I'm gonna draw this screen right here. Alright, as you can see, now we have the mask selected. So as you can see, the screen, there are different sizes and they're actually not precisely at the same spot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift the position of the top screen to match the other one. So let's increase a little bit the scale. That seems to be about right. Let's see. More or less. Maybe we should add some feather too in this one. Okay, that seems to be alright. Now the next problem I have here that I had to deal with is that basically if I go frame by frame and the hammer smashes, the phone moves. and keeps moving a little bit. So that's gonna be an issue. What I'm gonna have to do here, I'm gonna have to track this position, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do actually is track the first mask. And the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna disable all the clips and I'm gonna only have the screen and change the view to original so I can see, go into the mask, and here's when I'm gonna have to keyframe. So if you go under transform, you can keyframe everything that you do, scale and the control points. So I'm gonna keyframe the movement. So if I go clip by clip, this keeps moving, 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 and now the hammer is gonna impact, and that's when we're gonna have to move the mask. So impact, here I'm good. I'm gonna do another move, and now I need to move this mask. I'm gonna keyframe all this, and now in the next frame I need to move this mask. So I'm gonna move the mask up. Next keyframe, I would say I'm good. Next keyframe, go down, match it. You can always just make sure you're doing it right by switching to this. Let's see the next keyframe, and the next keyframe should be fine. I'm gonna make sure under composite that we're only selecting this, and next keyframes are okay, and enable the clip under, and this one too. And now let's see what's happening. Now this smashes, and as you can see, the phone under is not moving. Let me just make this a little bit wider so you can see. If you look at the impact, the iPhone 13 does not move, but the rest does.
Let's see.
All the table actually moved, and even this board actually moved. So I'm gonna have to take this clip of the iPhone 13 and match the movement. So let's zoom in again, and we're gonna keyframe this movement frame by frame. Actually, we're gonna restart going frame by frame. So we have the hammer hitting. Here we're good. And this is this one clip that we need the iPhone to be moving. So I'm gonna actually keyframe the position on transform here. And the next frame, I'm gonna have to move it. So I'm gonna bring it up and match it. Another frame, it's still good. Another frame, we have to go down to match it. Another frame, I would just keep it a little bit, pretty much the same. And here we don't have to move. Now, if you are very picky, if I keep going frame by frame, you'll see that the screen still moves. Actually, everything still moves. The reason is because the table was actually moving. But what I can do to avoid that is basically freeze frame the screen. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select here the clip of the screen, and I'm gonna press Shift H to hold and extend this hold and cut it out here. I can erase this one now. And what happens is this now.
Let's see.
Now, if you remember in the original clip, the screen of the iPhone turned on. If we zoom in, the screen of the iPhone is displaying the time, right? So when I was editing this, I was about to leave it like this, but I was like, no. Like, I want to show that the iPhone is on until the moment gets hit. So what I did was I decided that the moment that the phone would go into black is when it actually the hammer hits.
So in order to do that, it's as simple as cutting right here, the last frame. This is the first frame I want, so if I do this, I just get the effect that the iPhone is on, and the moment it hits, it just goes into like destroyed mode. So this is how it would look. So if I go into fit, and I just play back, this is how it looks.
The iPhone stronger than a hammer? Well, let's see.
Okay, so I just noticed something I forgot to tell you. Here, when I move and I go right in front, right behind it, there's no reflection of my shadow. And in order to make that more realistic, I didn't have to freeze all that. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm actually going to select the very first clip. Match the position. This is the last frame. And let's find the right frame right here. Okay, so now I know this is the last frame too. And I'm gonna make a cut right here, for example, and match this right there. And this, I can erase this one up here, and I can, because I only needed the hold to be when at the beginning it moves. So after, I just leave it as is, because this is just normal, it's not on hold anymore. I just need the hold at the beginning here. And then as you can see now, even make it a little bit shorter. When my hand goes above, you can see the reflection. And you can see the reflection when my body goes right behind. Let me just disable this. So if I go to 100%, you're gonna see that there's a reflection here, so it makes it more realistic. Let's play it back.
See.
Still on hold, and now I put the hammer and you see the reflection, you see still my reflection, so it makes it more real, right? So I just added the music so you guys can see how it plays all together. And at the very end, what I did to make it seem more real is I added a very tight close-up of the iPhone 6 where you could see the real smash in movement. And it's hard to tell what iPhone is this because the buttons are pretty much the same as the iPhone 13, so I thought it would be interesting. As long as I didn't show the top part, no one would really be able to tell that this wasn't the iPhone 13. And I also smashed it on the top part because I know the top part is the part that differentiates this iPhone from the other one, so I only had to hit the top part and people would not be able to tell the difference. So let's play the whole thing.
So in my last videos, I compared the iPhone 13 Pro to my cinema camera and to my professional photo camera. But how about comparing the iPhone 13 Pro with a hammer? What do you think is gonna happen? Do you think the iPhone is stronger than a hammer? Well, let's see. Well, I think we have a winner. And that was it. That's how I tricked you guys into thinking I actually smashed my iPhone 13 Pro Max with a hammer. I think it's a pretty simple trick, right? So many people would think that you need a software like Adobe After Effects to do something like this. And someone could argue that you could make it much more realistic. I agree. But only with Final Cut Pro 10, Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, you can get a very realistic result. So what do you guys think? Do you actually thought that I did smash the iPhone for real? Please put that in the comments. I actually want to know if you guys thought that I was smashing the iPhone for real just to get views on YouTube or something like that. And if you guys actually spotted in the first video that it was a fake, what gave it away? I'm curious also to know if some of you were like looking for little details or mistakes that I've made. Because if you spot it, you're actually really good at that. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. And as always, if you like the video, please give me a like. It actually helps me a lot to grow on YouTube. And if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys very soon.